All point of views expressed on ShopTalk 360 are solely the point of views of the individuals and do not represent any company, organization, or group. ShopTalk 360, the industry's dedicated platform for commercial design, construction, and facilities. With more than 25 years building for national retail brands, an award-winning and best-selling author, keynote speaker, industry coach, and event producer, here's our host of ShopTalk 360, Grace Daly.
Hey, ShopTalkers. Very excited to have my dear friend, Mike Pallarino, join us. Mike is the editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation Magazine, as well as a very, very dear friend of mine and a fellow entrepreneur who does many things. Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Grace. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us. I feel like this is finally time for us to chat, which is awesome. Now, Mike, every time I see you, whether at a conference or we're working on a writing project together, we always catch up. Share with our audience. I know you work on so many different, there's so many different facets of everything you do, not only for our industry as the editor of Commercial Construction and Renovation Magazine, but you also work with other industries as well too, right?
I do. I have my hands in the marketing industry, which is also takes me into the commercial print industry. I do a magazine in there. I do a podcast with a professional baseball instructor who's, if there's any baseball fans out there, whose clients include Jason Hayward, Andrew McCutcheon, Dexter Fowler. I've been doing helping him with his blog for the past 5 years. And I'm working on commercial construction now, heading into my 11th year, believe it or not.
Wow, time flies.
And I do a lot of freelance writing. It's just something that I really enjoy doing. It's my love, it's my passion, and it comes easy to me. So as many times as I can get interviewing other people and learning different things, it's always fun. Okay,
and thank you, by the way, we're going to be kind of co-hosting, co-interviewing this whole segment. We're going to interview each other. So thanks for doing that. It's always refreshing to be interviewed because I'm always interviewing other folks. So thank you for doing that.
And I did want to mention to you, I'm glad that we're recording this and all of our other conversations haven't been recorded. So that's good to know. Never know what I'm liable to say. So thank you for giving me the heads up.
No worries at all. We got a great group of, we got a great audience. Okay, now, so my favorite holiday is coming up, and that's Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving more than any holiday in the year. And with that, in typical ShopTalk 360 fashion, we do speed round interviews with a Thanksgiving theme. So the first question I will ask you is, what project are you grateful to be wrapping up on, whether it's personal or business?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of you had asked earlier some of the things that I have been working on. One of the projects that I've been working on for a while with a couple of colleagues, one of them is a former basketball coach on the collegiate level with Georgia Tech. He coached with Bobby Cremins for more than 20 years. Kevin Cantwell is his name, and Kevin at the time was one of the best recruiters in college basketball. And Kevin has written a book and has put together a platform where he is helping parents get to know more about their child's basketball journey and how they can get in front of coaches when it comes recruiting time, how they can get in, how they can talk to their high school coaches, how they can take their kids to the next level. And because I work with Kevin and Pat Alakwa, my other colleague / mentor of mine, I've been working with them on the content side, and we've finally got the website up. We've got some clients in the queue, including the AAU. So it's really exciting, and it's something we've been working on for a long time, and it's always fun. You had mentioned earlier the entrepreneurial spirit that we all have, and it's really nice when a plan comes together. So that has been something that has been brewing for a while and has finally come to fruition. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say it's not a project but my wife and I just came back from New York City seeing Bruce Springsteen on Broadway. So I'm going to call that a project because it was just a project to get up there. So
Yeah, sure.
Perfect Thanksgiving present for me. So now I'm going to ask you, what about you? What are you grateful for on your favorite holiday?
Okay, you know what I'm grateful for? I'm grateful to have wrapped up another ShopTalk 360 panel discussion in New York. Most folks who follow ShopTalk 360 know that I don't do a whole lot of panels. You know, I really focus on, just a quality, not quantity per se. And it's really interesting. It was a great conference, a great panel. It was, very well attended, standing room only. And it was one of the most engaging panels I've had. I've had some great brands on the panel, the director of, design with Bloomingdale's. I had the senior director with Chick-fil-A. I've also had the, facilities, manager with John Varvatos, as well as industry leader and thought leader from Build. So it was just a nice mix. It was very engaging, and it made me realize that I really miss doing these more often. So for next year, I'm actually plotting out next year with panels throughout some major cities. So I'm really stoked about that. And of course, after any major production like that, a panel, there's all the post-production, the podcast, the video recap, and all that. So I'm very grateful for the sponsors who support me in this and help spread the word and allow us to and support us to have these type of very critical and crucial discussions in our industry. So very stoked about that.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to make it this time, but I was able to follow on Twitter and Facebook. So thank you. It was nice to see everybody having a good time, including our good friend Dietrich, who I knew was on your panel.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Dietrich is awesome. Huge supporter of ShopTalk 360. I'm very grateful for my friends in the industry. I mean, it's awesome. Okay, next question. What are your predictions for the upcoming Black Friday?
Well, I tell you, Black Friday for me, I will say this again. I'm going to throw some personal in there. I'm a big Detroit Lions fan, so we're always on Thanksgiving. So if people are football fans, they know that after Lions games, Fridays are kind of Black Friday for different reasons. But we've got a better team this year, so I'm hoping that it'll be a good Black Friday. But what I do know on the business side is looking, like I said, I do a lot of marketing writing, a lot of business writing. It looks like this will be another year of kind of the power of online shopping. While it is great that people stand in lines and, you see the videos on the major news networks of people storming Walmarts, getting those $5 televisions. A lot of people continue to shop online, and I think that I know they have the Cyber Monday. I'm aware of that, but I think Black Friday that part is still catching up. I don't know if people are lazy or it's just more convenient or the deals are better, but that's just a part of the culture that we live in now. So for me, Black Friday, I think it'll be big. The economy is still where it's at, is still solid enough. I think they're having good predictions for the Christmas holiday. So I think Black Friday is going to be another record one for the books.
Yep, I agree. I think
also
too.
Now, what are your thoughts on Black Friday?
I totally agree. I think also it's interesting. I was chatting with our friend Dietrich on this Thanksgiving speed round, and he said he felt it was going to be a phenomenal Black Friday, and it for whatever reason when I was chatting with him, it just dawned on me like, wow, a year ago this time was when we had our newly elected president Trump. So I think there's been a lot of uncertainty, but I think it's come to the point where things have settled down quite a lot, and folks are ready to spend money, whether it's online or whether it's with traditional brick and mortar. I think it's going to be a very, very busy Black Friday. And I shop both. I shop online and I do the brick and mortar. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, right, so retail is evolving and the landscape of retail is changing. Whether it's a fulfillment center or it's the actual brick and mortar. Retail continues to change. So, I kind of look at brick and mortar as a whole now. It's all commercial space, and it's not necessarily a store location. It could be a fulfillment center, a distribution center, So, I think we're going to have I'm very, very positive we're going to have a busy Black Friday.
Yeah, and again, mentioning that I was up in New York last week, and for those that don't know, probably the majority of them, I am currently living in Atlanta, Georgia. Been down here for about 30 years, so we get up to New York as much as we can. I don't know who doesn't, but it was in complete holiday mode. We went up in the week on a Wednesday. We were there just for a quick trip, Wednesday and Thursday, but a lot of people shopping, a lot of people walking the streets. You could feel that Christmas vibe. So I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it's going to be a good Black Friday.
Okay, awesome. And last question, one of my favorite questions. What are you most grateful for?
Boy, that's a great question. I thought you were going to ask me if I could be a tree, what kind of tree I could be. The old Barbara.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I just asked my son that question, and he looked at me like I had two heads. So wait. Since you brought it up, what kind of tree would you be?
I'm going to go with the oak tree. We always like guys always like to be the big, strong oak tree, standing at the top of the hill and can withstand any storms. And so I'm going to say oak. What about you?
All right. I know what kind of tree I would be, and that would be a ginkgo tree.
Oh. Now explain to everybody what that type of tree is.
So it's one of the oldest species of a tree, and I think I just have very fond childhood memories of ginkgo trees when I used to live in New York when I was a lot younger, and my grandma and my mom used to pick the berries or the nuts off the ginkgo tree, which are now obviously, which have medicinal quality, and they're now in, supplements and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think I would like to be a ginkgo tree because it would have medicinal value and help folks, and it's a very old tree.
That's great. And we tip our hats and give a shout out to Barbara Walters for that question that she's asked everybody. You're not going to make me cry, but you did get me to answer the question, so very good.
All right, cool.
All right, so what am I most grateful for? Well, since we're talking about someone who's, the obvious answers are most certainly having a wonderful family, both an immediate family and extended family, my wife, my daughter, my two sons, my family still up in Western Pennsylvania. That's the obvious answer. But the other thing that I'm grateful for is that, and I just had this conversation with my youngest son. He's the middle child. I have a 30-year-old son, a 23-year-old son, and a 11-year-old daughter. And what I was talking to my son Alec about was that he just graduated from college and still finding his way. He's got a job, and he's learning how to sell. He's learning how to cold call, which is great. But he asked me, about my early part of my career, did I ever get worried and concerned? And, that question we always get, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I'm a writer. That's all I've ever known how to do. That's what I love to do. So it's funny you should ask this question, because I told Alec, I said, every morning that I get up, and I'm 54 years old, I'm tipping my hand there too, I consider myself the luckiest person in the world. I'm still doing what I love to do. When I get up in the morning, there's no struggle. There's no, I got to go make the donuts. It's always getting to talk to different people and learning different things. I've made a promise to myself at a very young age to the old cliche that you should learn something new every day, and that's something that I strive for. And my job, my career, my profession, my friends, I'm always able to learn something new every day. So what I'm grateful for is that, really.
That's awesome.
So I will, I think I am crying. Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You can't see me. I'm crying. I'm going to ask you that question. What are you grateful for? And see if you can make me cry.
I might make myself cry. Actually, you know what I'm very grateful for? I'm grateful for my husband, Mark. I'm grateful for Cody. my son, who's 23, same age as Alec, your son, right?
Yep.
I'm grateful for my new kids too. Recently or earlier this year, I got married. So I have new kids. Jaden, who's 11, Nate, who's 15, and Ashley, who's 16. So I'm grateful for just the togetherness of the family. And I'm grateful for even with some major changes. Not, it's a little sad, but I lost my dad earlier this year. But I'm grateful to spend time with my mom every time I'm up in New York and to make it up there. And I'm just grateful for all my family. It's just
And you were just with your mom, correct? You were just
Yes, I was. Yeah, and she's come down here to we flew her down here a couple of times as well too. So I try to make it a point to spend some quality time with her because I'm just grateful to even have that flexibility to be able to do that. So I'm just grateful to have time with my family.
Yeah. That's, you talk about the first time we met at a conference, and that was what we had in common, right? We were both getting ready to get married. And my wife Jennifer, we've been together for a long time. We have an 11-year-old child, and we were waiting for certain things to happen if you're, born and raised a Catholic when you get married and divorced. So without sparing you the long story, as you know it, but we won't bore everybody else. We were waiting for my annulment to come through, and we wanted to get married in the Catholic Church, and that was something that we thought would be, ideal for us and our daughter, and it happened. So so that's how we met and what we had in common. So I wanted to echo that too, because I know that you and I spent hours talking about those two special moments that were coming for us, and we both just went through them recently. So
yeah, that's right, absolutely. Well, very, very super cool. Well, this was fun chatting, Mike.
Yes, it was.
I didn't make you cry this time, but
I think I got a little well.
Questions. All right. Well, maybe I'll catch you for the Christmas edition.
Yeah. If your ratings are good and people said, "Who was that guy?" Don't ever interview him again. If they don't say that, I'd be happy to do this anytime.
That's awesome. Mike, thanks so much for all your support, for your friendship. I'm grateful to have you in my life. You're awesome. And I look forward to chatting again with you on Shop Talk 360.
Awesome. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mike.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, Shop Talkers, welcome to our Speed Round show. This is the Thanksgiving Day edition, and I'm very excited to have with us Randy Weiss with R.D. Weiss Companies. Hi, Randy.
Hi, Grace. Good evening, and an early happy Thanksgiving to you.
Yes, good evening to you, too. And I cannot believe Thanksgiving is just later on this week. It's a little nerve-wracking how fast time is flying.
That is for sure. But we only have a couple more days left.
That's right. Well, my first question to you is, what project are you grateful to be wrapping up on, whether personal or business?
Well, I think on the personal side, it's always good coming into Thanksgiving to know that you've got a major family holiday that you're about to celebrate, and all the preparation for Thanksgiving in a day or two will be behind me. And I think on the business side, you have to say that this time of year, your retail projects are pretty much all wrapped up, because when Black Friday hits, there's no installation work, there's no repair work, there's no maintenance work. All of our retailers are focused on just one thing, and that's selling product.
That must be a nice break for the team, too.
Absolutely. So we do look forward to that little respite between Black Friday And January 1 every year, it's nice to get that breather.
Okay, now second question. What are your predictions for the upcoming Black Friday?
Well, I tend to be an optimist, so I'm going to be optimistic again this year. I think Black Friday will be fairly strong. I think it'll be better than last year. I believe a couple of things are probably playing into it. One is I think people are generally pretty positive about our economy. And, when there's confidence in the economy, people tend to spend more freely. I was in Mexico over the weekend, and I was in two of their malls. So I was there ahead of Black Friday, and there was very, very good crowds in the mall. People had shopping bags. So, it looks like people are out spending money, and the stores are ready.
Okay. And last question, my favorite question. What are you most grateful for?
Well, at the risk of sounding passé, I think I'm always grateful that in my family at home and my work family, everyone is healthy and happy, and things are good for people these days. So I'm grateful that a large segment of people I know are healthy and doing well.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you included your work family.
Yes. So they're important. It's hard sometimes to separate the people you work with and help every day grow your business, make your business successful, and your blood relatives. I mean, the old cliche, we're all in this together, is true. Our work associates, all work hard for a common goal, and I really appreciate what they do, and I'm grateful for what they do, and I'm grateful for who they are.
Aw, I'm sure they're grateful to have a leader like you. That's awesome. And how often is it that we spend sometimes more time with our work family than our own families? More awake time, anyway, depending on the season and how busy we are. Sure. Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Randy, for chatting with us on this Breed Round show. Looking forward to chatting with you again before the year is up. And I look forward to seeing you again in New York soon.
Always a pleasure, Grace, and let's keep our fingers crossed for those Black Friday numbers when they come in.
All right. We'll be chatting again soon. Thank you, Randy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Great. Same to you.
Hey, Shop Talkers. I am here with my dear friend, Didrik Kirkham, with John Barbados. Hey, Didrik, how are you?
Hey, Grace. How's it going?
It's going good. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Speed Round Thanksgiving Day edition. Always fun to chat with you. So real quickly, Speed Round questions. First one is, what project are you grateful to be wrapping up on?
Well, the project that I'm grateful to be wrapping up on happened to be, I'd have to say it's the showroom at the corporate office. Because that took a lot, because we had to basically move people off of three different floors and, get them set up and reestablished so I can do the construction and get everything done and then move people back. So it was a lot.
It sounds like it. Now that's showroom. That sounds incredible. Is that the only showroom, or a new showroom, or additional showroom?
Well, what happened was I'm about to sublease some space on the 9th floor, so we we have two showrooms in the corporate office. One is the Star USA, and the other one is Collection. So what I did was I combined both the showrooms together up onto the 12th floor.
Oh, wow. Okay. That sounds like a huge initiative. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. And so you're getting ready to wrap that up.
Well, actually, I just wrapped everything up as of yesterday.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations. Right before
Hey.
Thanksgiving Day holiday. That's great.
Oh,
Now, what are your predictions for the upcoming Black Friday?
my predictions are that we'll probably have a really, really big a big sale going on to where we're gonna I think we'll go over the initial. I think we'll go over the initial amount that they predict to come in. So I mean, there's so many different things that are going on, and there's so many different sales going on that I feel that we will do pretty well on Black Friday.
All right, cool. Now, are you speaking from an industry point of view or mostly from John Barbados? Probably industry is my guess, right?
Well, no, I was actually speaking from a John Barbados point of view, but
Oh,
as far as the
really?
industry itself,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you guys have, so John Barbados is having big sales?
Yeah. It's going to be
wow.
And I predict we'll do pretty well on that Black Friday.
Okay. That sounds super, super cool. And so what about industry-wise?
Industry-wise, I feel the same because, as you know, for the past couple of years, you know, retail's taken a big hit. I think that people have finally come to grips on what they needed to do as far as like savings and things of that nature. And now they're ready to spend again. People are ready to spend again, I feel. So I feel that I feel that retail across the board is going to do pretty well on Black Friday.
Okay. Recently, you're on our Rockstar panel, New York City ShopTalk 360 panel, and we touched on just sales in general and how the brick and mortar has been evolving to meet the needs and to give that experience shoppers and clients and customers are looking for. So that should be very, very interesting. Yeah, I think you bring up a very good point. You know, people have been saving and kind of the watching and looking for sales, and you're right. I think it's everyone's gonna, you know, open up the purse strings a little bit, if you will, and spend more, especially with the holidays coming. Yeah. I know I'm ready to do that.
It's time. It's about that time. It's been long enough. People have, you know, the fear factor is gone, I feel. And that's why I feel that industry, the retail industry, is going to do pretty well.
You know what? That's you bring up a very good point, and not to talk politics on this show because we generally don't. But you said the fear factor is gone, and what I immediately thought of, and this is just my personal point of view, is I know last year this time it was like right after the election, like it was kind of like, you know what I mean, like everyone's trying to feel out what's going on. So I don't know if you meant to reference that, but when you said that, it just kind of clicked in my head. Wow, yeah, it's been a year since the election with our new president. So yeah, very, very cool. Okay, now last question, my favorite question for my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. What are you most grateful for?
Most grateful for health, family, and friends.
Yes. Okay, love it. That's right. That's what it's always about, right? Health, family, and friends. Absolutely. Makes our day, it makes every day just enjoyable and fun. All right. Well, with that, thank you, Siege, for chiming in. As always, really great and really great to chat with you, and appreciate you sharing your point of view on Shop Talk 360.
No, thanks for inviting me to the show.
Hey, Shop Talkers. Welcome to another segment of our Thanksgiving Day edition. I am here with my dear friend, Tom McBride with Construction Solution Consulting. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Grace. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm very excited. Turkey. I love turkey. I love cooking.
It's that time. I was going to ask you, before you ask me your questions, what your turkey Thanksgiving meal looks like.
Very traditional. I'm going to be baking a turkey with all the trimmings, stuffing, corn, mash, just a lot of good eats and a lot of good times, and spending it with family. Yeah. So what does your Thanksgiving look like?
Well, we do a traditional meal also, except there's one thing I always add every year, and that's chocolate pie instead of pumpkin pie. So just one of the things I like. And we're actually just going to be my wife and I this year, so very quiet Thanksgiving and peaceful and restful, which I need.
Those are good words. Peaceful and restful sound really good. Chocolate pie. We'll have to exchange recipes. I do an apple, I have like a mini. I do like these mini apple pies. These like these mini apple critter things.
Sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to be chatting with you. Thank you for joining us on Shop Talk 360. First question, Tom. What project are you grateful to be wrapping up, business or personal?
Well, I actually have two. So personally, I have a real estate investment deal that I've been working on for a while. And so that is being wrapped up this week on Friday. So I'm grateful for that. And then I've also signed on some more contract work for next year, and that was something else I was working on. So I'm really glad that those two things are wrapped up and I don't have to worry about them through the rest of the year.
Very, very cool. And share with our listeners, Tom, because I get so spoiled every time I speak with you because I learn so much, especially from the restaurant industry. Tom, you've been in the restaurant industry as a restaurant leader for a very long time, having built a lot of restaurant and quick serve chains out there.
Yes, I actually started out as a home builder in doing construction work, and that was my father and my grandfather's businesses. And from that, I learned construction, got just by kind of accident, got into the restaurant construction part of it. I started doing commercial construction, and then just found a niche in the restaurant side. And then I got hired on by companies, and I've been in this business for way too long. Years.
How many years?
Built a lot of restaurants. Well, it's been over 30 years, so long time.
Wow. Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So that's very exciting. Now, second question. What are your predictions for the upcoming Black Friday?
Okay. Well, Black Friday's a day I avoid. That's one thing. I'm not a guy to go out and mix in the crowd. If I go to I've been to one Black Friday, and it was on Thanksgiving night at right after midnight, which officially started Black Friday.
Sure.
And I had to go get something for one of my kids it was several years ago, and I'd never been back. It was so crazy. But this year, Black Friday, I think that, first of all, online ordering is going to set just astronomical records. Companies like Amazon and Wayfair and these online groups are just, it's amazing what they can do, and that's such a huge part of the retail industry now. So I think we're going to hear a lot about how big those sales are. And then I heard that there's this 4G HD TV, which is supposed to be the newest thing in TVs I think you can buy a 50-inch TV for under $200.
Wow.
So I think the TV sales are probably going to be really huge. And then, of course, cell phones. Cell phones, to me, are a really big waste of money, but they change your cell phone every 6 months. They upgrade it. And I think people are caught up in that hype of having the newest gadgets. So I think those are going to be big sellers this year.
Yeah. And I've also noticed too, this year, it seems like you bring up a very good point, because I remember when my son was younger, we did the whole Black Friday run out after midnight and go shopping for the hottest toy, whatever that may have been. My son's 23 now. Those days are gone, although I have new children that are younger, but we don't do the midnight shopping anymore. But what's interesting is that this year for Black Friday, everything's starting early. They actually have Black Friday sales starting at 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving.
Like why have Black Friday?
Exactly. It's really like Gray Thursday or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, and also the cyber sales they used to do like Cyber Monday, but now they're kind of like getting into our turf, and they're doing like Black Friday week sales, so it's just but yes. Okay, last question. My favorite question. What are you most grateful for?
Well, I kind of have almost the same question, or same answer every year. First of all, I'm thankful to God that I'm still here and I'm fulfilling my purpose for His plan. The second thing, I'm grateful for my family and that everyone's healthy and I'm healthy. Thankful that I've never been without work. The last thing that I'm very thankful for is my freedom.
Yeah, sure. No one's shared that yet with some of the folks that I've chatted with. Your freedom. And do you want to expand on that a bit? Just your freedom to do as you please, your freedom to pursue your business, the freedom to do your real estate investments, freedom to...
Yes, and having traveled around the world, you get to see countries that don't have freedom. And we have freedom here to do those things you mentioned. We have freedom to express ourselves. We live as free citizens, with exception of taxes. But other than that, and I'm very grateful, having seen what other countries are like, and some of them are under dictatorships. I have a friend of mine in Kenya, who he's from the United States, but he goes to Kenya for 6 months every year, and he has a Bible college there, and he's under such great restrictions of what he can say. He's always under a threat of attack in the area that he's in. And, it's just when you see the world as I have, and freedom becomes much more appreciative. And I believe a lot of Americans have never realized what that freedom really means.
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Wow, that's a deep one. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us on this Thanksgiving Day edition Speed Round. And I'm looking forward to chatting again with you, possibly in the new year, to see what you got going on with projects and just to hear your thoughts on our industry. Tom, thank you so much. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. And thank you for having me on, and you and your family have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.
You got it.
Thanks for joining Shop Talk 360, real conversations in the commercial design, construction, and facilities industry. You can reach out to us at grace@gracedaily.com.